Welcome to my channel. Say meow. Welcome to Meredith Mynrose YouTube channel. The long-awaited, overdue Lyra popping into the webcam, right? To the camera. Okay, so everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Meredith Mynrose. I'm a universal healer and a peace visionary, and today we'll be doing a, what is it called? Universal astrology message for the sign of Aquarius. Right. Okay, so we have shuffled the tarot deck. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. So I shuffled it, but I need to shuffle it some more. So let's see if my cat wants to stay. Don't drink my drink. Don't drink my drink. Kiss. Kiss more. Some more. Some more curves. Oh. Fine, sleepyhead. What were you dreaming about? What was you dreaming about? What you give me this dear? What you give me this dear? So, this is the this is the Aquarius universal astrology message. Sup, kitty? He just woke up from his very deep nap. Looking at me, look at them. Say hi to them. Sleepy bugger. He's blessing this deck. Okay, so we're taking it easy because I am sick. If you guys have not gotten a personal reading, you could, because this is usually a message is delivered to somebody, and usually it kind of like symbolizes you having a session with someone, a messenger, like a psychic messenger. Sometimes my clients, when they do a tarot card reading with me, they tend to get this page of wands just now, and then I'm like, you're getting a message from someone, and then I'm like looking at them, and you're here, you're getting a message from me, and it's a very important message. Right, cat? Right, cool. Sorry. He's in the meditative pose, my cat, because he's still waking up from a daisy. Okay, Aquarius, this is the message for you for the month of June. Meow. Meow. Okay, Meow is still on the table beside me. So anywho, shuffling until I feel that it's the right time. I think it's the right time. Okay, Kitty just dropped. He went off his way. First card is the Knight of Pentacles. The second is the Four of Cups reverse. The Sun in reverse. Knight of Swords. Page of Swords. Five of Swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ace of Swords. Okay. Let's see. Knight of Pentacles. What does that mean? Knight of Pentacles. It may mean that there is a message in regards to money from somewhere. And then there's Four of Cups. I think this is about stubbornness and a shade of unforeseen happiness. But then it had to come out from this deliberate fight, deliberate argument, deliberate thought-provoking business. So there's a lot of sword, so there's a lot of mental anguish. There's not much water here. So I think this is a situation where there's a lot of cruelty involved, there's a lot of coldness involved. But let's pull out the unicorn, because the unicorn is the air element. You might need to purify your air element. Your title is too long. Oh, my title is too long. I don't know. Capricorn, June 2019. I'm publishing my previous video, but my title is too long. Let me think about the title later. So there's a lot of mental anguish and a lot of separation. Ace of Cards. You know, as I was like talking about many different, like in my past Scorpio for this month, I talk about there's many different levels and shades of the sign in a specific sign. There's many levels of that sign, like between the darkest energy and the lightest and brightest energy. So this reading, it may affect like people of different levels of signs. Some of you may have different resonance to the reading. Some of you may feel very resonated to it. Some of you not so much, but you can still pick up some lessons from it. So what I'm getting from this reading is that it's from like the lower third degree. Like if there was like 6 and number 3 and 4 is in between of mediocre, so like the third degree from that was like maybe like number 2 from the most dark. So this is like connected to a darker Aquarius energy. Most people, if they're like all the time perfect, right? If they're like 5 out of 6, 6 out of 6, they're not really here. They're just here for fun, because they're just basically have learned so much life lessons over the past many years. Maybe they're in their mid-50s, mid-40s. Sometimes they are even mid-20s who have their stars aligned in a very specific way that they don't have these problems. So this is just a guidance for people who have issues with their life. Everybody has their own problems and troubles. It's either they want to admit that they have it or not. Some people are so in denial they don't want to admit it because it may seem that they're weak. But accepting the fact that everybody has weakness is a form of strength, and so that is a very strong thing to do. So if you have that issue, I suggest that you look into yourself to look into your vulnerabilities, because if you're not willing to be vulnerable, then it's very hard for you to change. And this card, this spread of tarot decks, is showing that this stubbornness not to change and to only see that you're right, but then at the end you're failing in a lot of areas because you're unwilling to see other people's point of view. So this is the energy of flow, which is very good, because find an easier path forward, surrender the outcome, release your expectations. So this is like a card of faith. Besides flow, it's also faith, because you need to surrender. You need to let go of control, which to me it seems that in this tarot spread, there's a lot of control. You have a lot of control issues. You like to be in control all the time, but then you also lose. You're not gonna win in the way that you think that you're gonna win. Okay. Second card is expansion. Spread your wings and soar. Share your message and share your light. Show the world what you're made of. So, and then cycles. Everything has its right time. Honor the cycles of your body. Tune into the moon's magic. Okay. I'm gonna pull the dragon card. I think last month's Aquarius reading is about seek divine feminine counsel to cleanse or to clear your negative projection in life or something. Let's see what the message rounds up to this June reading, because May reading was about Aquarians having to seek divine feminine counsel because they're very masculinistic energy. You know, usually I would say that if it was reversed, the Sun and the Ace of Swords, if it was reversed, then there's opportunity to make it up right, that happiness is yours and freedom is yours, calm state of mind or something is yours. But unfortunately, there is some very dilemmic issue, like past tense to dilemma, a tragic dilemma and tragical issues at hand here. Okay, where is it? Okay. So let me kind of like see what the energy is foretelling us. Aquarius, are you sabotaging your own happiness? Green Dragon helps you tune into the secrets of nature. Receive answers and guidance from nature. Align with your divine essence. So you have to get back to nature. I think like you're losing emotional compassion to yourself and to others. Deep Blue Dragon, keep you safe by clearing your pathway. Trust that you are protected. Walk on the path of light. And the third one is Earth and Fire Dragon. Works with you to clear the fifth dimensional ley lines. It is time for service. When you give, you receive. When you give, you receive. And so sometimes when you're unfair in taking, you're not going to grow because you always sabotage your own growth when you sabotage taking and giving inappropriately. So connecting to nature, I'm not too sure how you're going to do that, but definitely to the trees. Working with trees or being surrounded by trees and plants is very, very healing, and might even heal you so much than any other ways possible. So I think there's a war in your mind that there might be a war in your mind that may seem like it's not serious, but it's very damn serious, because you're sabotaging your inner peace by arguing with your mind and arguing with everyone. The air element in your energy is very unbalanced, and you need to ground yourself and connect to energies of earth, trees, and water. You need to kind of like undo yourself. Like maybe you're so rigid and you're so strict and you're so uptight. You need to unwind. So there's a lot of fear element going on in your energy. Knight of Pentacles. So it feels like this young man promising money, or this young energy promising money, this promised future, promised financial fortune. And the stubbornness to get out of your comfort zone to build this happiness, but to always fight for a war, to always fight to win. Like people aren't even fighting and you're always fighting. Pleasure. This is card Pleasure. Protection. It's a card of protection. And then Wheel. 13. Unfortunately, I don't have my deck meaning here, so I'm gonna have to come up with the meaning on my own. Pleasure, protection, and will. Does it mean will desire, or does it mean willpower, or does it mean, I think it's will desire, right? What do you guys think? Protection, will, pleasure. Okay, guys. So, like, for example, the energy here of pleasure, to me, it feels like this is a desire that is unmet. So there's a lot of desires that are unmet in these 3 cards. This will, protection, and pleasure. Pleasure, protection, and will. And these are all not met in your life. You don't have pleasure, you don't have protection, and you don't have a will. So how do we go about that? It feels like you've been turned against yourself. Your fear, your paranoia, if you had one, have turned against yourself. And your decisions have always been unconsciously harming your mental health state, to be very aggressive and very argumentative and very exploitative. So you're functioning from a very survival state of mind, and your ability to control your willpower, you don't have it. Your ability to protect yourself, you don't have it. And when you're protecting yourself, you're even endangering yourself and others. Your definition of protection is false. And the pleasure that you're seeking is not really pleasure, it's self-endangerment. So, are you addicted to something, Aquarius? You're refusing to take advice. Yes. You're refusing to take advice. This is what I get from here. Refusing to take advice. And then endangering yourself. Knight of Swords, Page of Swords, 5 of Swords, Ace of Swords. So there's a lot of this battle. There are a lot of this upheaval negativity. So that's why the unicorns and the moon cards are showing how surrender is a way out. Give in. Like, didn't I write down losing is a long-term win? Who did I write it for? Is it Aquarius or different? Losing is a long-term win? Where the heck is it? Where did I write it? Where is it? Huh? I don't see it. I'm pretty sure I wrote it somewhere. Losing is a long-term win or something. So it's like, do you have the courage to give up and lose? Give up control. Give up. For April, I wrote, face your demons and come peace into self. Did I start in March? No, I started in April. In one of the videos, I must have said something like, losing is a long-term win, but I cannot find it in here. No. You have to listen to Leo June 2019. The universe is spanking you to humble down. Losing is a long-term win. So yeah. Yes, you, Aquarius and Leo, you might be twin in astrological sign. I don't know, for me, Leo and Aquarius is something quite similar a bit. So you might have an aspect of Leo also. Okay, let's pull out these cards. Flexible. Being flexible energetically. Higher power. You have to have faith. Have to work with a higher power. Maybe work with angels. And a loyal heart. You need to build a loyal heart. Okay, so the message here is that you have been so aggressive that you've hurt the people around you, and you don't understand the concept of loyalty. You don't understand the concept of embracing self-care and self-love. Like, your priorities are messed up, and take this as a very caring advice, not something that's trying to put you down, because there are people who've been through it, and then there are people who are sharing this wisdom who wants to see other people become better, but not at their detriment. So if you cannot take this advice, then this is not the video for you. You have to find someone else who's more aggressive than you are to get some teaching, because some people are not going to be that aggressive with you, because they're not going to break themselves to help fix you, which is what this toxic Aquarian would be. Some of you are in a toxic mental state that you need other people to be very upset and very angry so that you can relieve that burden to them, so that you can walk away. Like, you know, when someone is very upset and then they kind of dump all their negative energy onto somebody unexpected of it, and then suddenly you feel free. So this is a very toxic this is a very toxic Aquarius, because for the sign of Leo has very viral mind negativity, because Leo, they are so toxic that they try to control other people through their mind. They're very toxic in a way that they're mentally controlling. And Aquarians, for you guys, you try to do that. You try to fuck people with your mind. You try to be very sneaky, very calculative, sneaky, preparing to absorb people's energy with your innocence. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of like different Aquarians that I've known, and it is a very, like, your air is so fucked up that it's like so stormy energy. So it became a stormy mind that you try to leave this storm onto other people, but it's always going to fuck you up because you don't rein in the power of the storm in your mind. And however much you try to fuck other people with your stormy energy, karma is going to cycle around, and it's going to like really fuck you right back up energetically. So the advice here is that I know that sounds like really terrible, but I'm just reading without filter, without trying to sweet coat the blatant truth filter. Toxic Leo are mentally controlling, and for Aquarius, you're sneaky and secretive. Yes, Aquarian who are toxic, you are sneaky and secretive and calculative, and energetically, like, some of you will not ever admit it. Some of you will be so pissed off that I read you like this. But I have several Aquarians that I know that I'm using as a as such a lethal and toxic radar standard. Like, you know, when you're comparing it to what standard? Yeah, I'm comparing it to this maybe 5 different Aquarians that I know. It's time for me to like snot out, but I'm not start it out yet. Maybe I should. Excuse me, guys. I can't even do it because I'm in the picture. Guys, my nose is so dry from all of this nose sniffing thing. So Aquarians, the message for you this month, besides kind of like putting this spotlight on how toxic your mind is and how aggressive and like there's a war, there's a storm in your mind that you need to be you need to be sedated. Sorry. You know my pill, this thing, this freaking shit is sedated me. For the past few nights, no, since Sunday, so it's been maybe 4 days, I've been on this shitty thing and I feel like so drowsy. I couldn't even do anything and I was like so bored. I even one time after I took this, I didn't fall asleep, but after that I fall asleep for 20 hours straight. Okay, coming back to your story, Aquarius. You need to be under this very I think the reason due to this is maybe you have a very fucked up nervous tension. Your nerves are fried and you're all over the place. You're all over the place and you're all over the place. So you need some tranquilizing herbal soothing thing like St. John's wort. I think I mentioned this to one of the person that I talked to many, I don't know fucking when. Okay. So St. John's wort is a herb that soothes your anxiety. Because for me, when I had high blood pressure, it's because my nerves are fucking up. And then I took St. John's wort. It made me very sensitive to light. So I only took it for like maybe 3 months and I already stopped. But it really did a dosage of wonderful healing for me. So for you, Aquarians, your stormy mind is maybe coming from your nervous tension. You're tensed up because you're nervous, because you're filled with fear and you don't know how to calm down. So you need some herbal soothing remedy to calm the F down. Because I think the majority message here is showing you how much fucked up stormy shit is in your mind and showing you to tell you stop not taking any advice, and then showing to you that you need to the less toxic Aquarians, you might not be so affected by this message. You might already know this because you're higher evolved in your spirituality, but you're growing your awareness. But this is for the people, Aquarians, who really need it. And I think for a lot of my Aquarians, a lot of Aquarians hated my videos because I really speak a lot of fucked up truth, which is so brutal, which is so gobsmacking, face slapping, smacking truth, that some Aquarians don't like it. But it's a good smack in the face, you know, because it helps you. It's a fucking good help. So nervous tension, you need to work with your water element and your earth element, and you have to stop making things worse for yourself. Only you will figure out how you're making things worse for yourself. But since you lack self-control and self-awareness, because you're always arguing and cannot reflect in your actions and behavior, you need a higher power. Like last month I mentioned, you need to connect to divine feminine because you're very, very extremely toxically masculine. So you need to build a feminine energy inside you, and you need to have a lot of forgiveness. You need to have a lot of acceptance, and you need to have a lot of compassion, forgiveness, and acceptance, which I don't think you have currently, because you're always in fight and flight mode. You don't freeze, but you fight and flight and flee. So you have to accept circumstances and forgive, have compassion, and you have to have more acceptance. And that's how you really truly can feel that power of surrender. And then you can really kind of like protect yourself. And then you can feel the pleasure of peace because you've surrendered and accepted the facts or your fate, even if you don't like that fate, because you don't want fear to win, but fear is winning the more you fight it. And then that's where you can really pause and then take back the control of your life by controlling your willpower, so that you can then listen and heed to advices that will help you so you can change. But in order to do that, you need to have more loyal heart, higher power, acceptance, compassion, and forgiveness. And then you can change the way you think, which is you're very stubborn and rigid in your mindset that is very stormy and very argumentative, that you sabotage your happiness and you sabotage your freedom. Okay? And you're very stubborn-minded. But there's this opportunity of money coming from somewhere, energetically. There's money to help build you independence, connecting to some career or profession as well. But you're sabotaging yourself. So what's the message for this one? The message for this one is compassion, acceptance, and forgiveness has to be your mantra, so that you can really ground the fuck into the earth and you can really stop molesting other people's energy. Because when you have a very stormy mind, you don't have boundaries, and people tend to feel very energetically molested, and they don't know it. And this is a very rough word, I know, but that's what the universe is using to give to me. So I had a little zing right when I said stop molesting other people's energy. Because they don't have boundaries? Why? I don't know. But when you have compassion, forgiveness, and acceptance, only then you have all this willpower, protection, and pleasure. That's how you heal yourself. So stop fighting. And only you know how to control yourself. If you can have some self-control after you face your demons. After you face your demons and then you have self-control, only then you can really control. And you don't have to always win, because you winning is feeding your ego, which is wrong. You don't see that your ego, your fear is controlling your life and sabotaging it. And you think that people are against you, but actually people are not so much. You're against yourself because of maybe unresolved trauma or unresolved grief or unresolved issues. But Ace of Swords, reverse though, is like you have to listen to the Leo energy forecast energy for June 2019, because universe is spanking you to humble down. Losing is a long-term win. You have to learn to lose. You have to let your ego loose in order for you to find fucking peace. And all the fuck word, F word in this video is strategically placed because the universe wants to fucking show you the green light home to your spiritual home. The fucking word, fuck, is strategically placed in each of the definite word that I mentioned is because the universe wants to give you this green light. This is the fucking way. Like, this is the fucking way. This is like this, like, fuck. This is the fucking way. That's funny. That's the fucking way. Anyway, that's the universe humor, not me. It's really funny. I didn't take this thing. It doesn't make me laugh, but it's real funny what this message would be. So that's it. That's the message for Aquarians for the month of June 2019. Yeah, so if you would like a personal reading, a psychic tarot reading, or a universal healing session, check out my website, read the information, choose if you want a tarot or psychic reading, or the universal healing session if you want a very in-detail healing about your trauma, healing about your spiritual distress. Then look at the information, book a session, read the terms and conditions, read the code of ethics as well, so that you become a very sincere client and not a very hanky-panky weird client, so that we are on the same page. So if that's it, if you're interested to have a session with me, book it and let me know through email, or when you book it, your location, aka your country for the time code, time zone, and then I'll email you with the available time slots and the available days. So that's it for me. My name is Meredith Mynrose. I'm a universal healer and peace visionary. I hope this message helps you, even though it's weird and even though you know, it's a very unprofessional. It is a very unprofessional, but it's a very humble, down to earth. Because you're not down to earth Aquarian, some of you are not. To some of the healthier Aquarians, the message for you is all of this, like this stormy mind, you already have conquered it. And you are not sabotaging your happiness or your freedom. And that is a healthy Aquarian message for this month. And you're able to embrace any financial opportunities coming your way because you are not sabotaging your abundance and your happiness, because you don't let your mind fuck your life, which is good. And some of the toxic Aquarians, they cannot control themselves enough to stop their mind from sabotaging and fucking themselves up over. So you have to learn to have compassion, forgiveness, and acceptance. And then you have to work on building protection, recognizing how to enable inner peace, and then bringing self-control into the picture. So connect to your high power, loyal heart. Build your feminine energies, Aquarians that are unhealthy balance wise. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next month. For now, take care. Bye.